私から見たカボくんってね、本当は強烈にものすごくやりたいことがあるけど、それが出せなくて。
Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to Paws On Animation and our podcast.
And today we're covering the dancing anime, WanDance.
Now this anime is adapted from the original manga as it shows a high schooler with a stutter who learns to communicate and express himself through dancing and gets involved in a whole new world, and of course with a pretty girl too. And the problem is that the dancing in this anime is terrible. And we read at least, I think it was 3 or 4 volumes of the manga, and
oh my gosh.
But
before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get updates on future podcasts and WandaPause videos.
Yes, and thank you so much for joining us today. Subscribe, while sharing our videos, commenting everything you do. We appreciate it so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
So, disclaimer, and before anyone asks us, we loved the manga. It was fun. That's what made me really excited when, I don't remember which of us learned that an anime was coming out. And I said, oh, I can't wait.
Yes.
I love the manga. It's fun and the story's nice and you got a little romance and I can't wait to see it.
Yes.
And then we saw it.
Yes. And then you said, what is this? Actually, no. When we saw episode 1, and there were a couple things we didn't know actually were in the manga because it had been a long time since we've seen, like, main character has a stutter. He actually does in the manga, and we were incorrect. However, it got to a certain point where we saw the dancing, what they call dancing because the animation, and then where he was supposed to be looking online for a video on YouTube about Scatman. And they actually play the video in the show. About half of it as he talks over it. And Mom said, why are we looking at this? Where is the show itself? Disney, stop making anime. Dang it.
I could not believe they did that. And if you listen to our Twisted Wonderland review of the manga, and you watch our review of the anime, you'll learn that they did the same darn thing in Twisted Wonderland, putting live action scenes and things that are already being recorded in the West in the anime.
Yes.
So this seems to be their little stamp, their little trademark. Please stop. So for those of you not familiar with WanDance, it's a manga series written and illustrated by Coffee. It's been serialized in Kodansha's Seinen Manga magazine since 2019, and it has 15 volumes for the manga. And we just actually got it here for licensing in 2025.
Yeah,
this
so
has been out.
recently.
And as Rascal learned, there's a live action film adaptation that's coming out as well.
Oh my, already.
So the manga's still going on, so there's no way this is going to come to an end in terms of ending the way the writer wants it to. Right. It's considered coming of age and romance. It should be dancing too. Why they wouldn't say it's dancing is beyond me.
I don't know.
The anime is 12 episodes. It originally ran from October of 2025 to December of 2025. And it is licensed by Disney Platform Distribution.
Yay! Disney bought it. And like, well, what's wrong with Disney Plus? Look what they did with Bleach.
Yeah.
That's it. In terms of distribution, just look what they've done with that.
Yeah, and this is one of those.
Yeah.
So, in here, we have Koboku Kotani, and he is a first-year high school student that's really, really tall. And he doesn't look like an adult, but he's really, really tall.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to bring attention to himself, but of course he's this pretty white-haired girl. And you know what happens after that?
Of course.
He loses it. He wants to get to know her. And he happens to see her first dancing. And he becomes enamored of her. Now, in the book, it looked good. When she started dancing in the anime, we were like, what in the heck is going on? Well, maybe it's just with her. When they show other people, it'll be better.
Yeah. And then it actually gets worse with more people. And we're going to explain. It's clear that it's a different animation style when the characters start dancing.
And cheaper.
And cheaper. You can tell it's the traditional 2D anime style when they're walking and talking, doing the normal thing.
And that looks great.
Right. But when the time comes for a character to dance, their entire model and everything changes. You can tell they're 3D or they're motion capture. And then they start to dance and it looks like they're a robot about to self-destruct. And they are praising the dancing like, at one point, oh, it's on the level of Michael Jackson. And you're just sitting and looking like, what are you looking at? Nobody moves like a human being in this show when they dance. And it's laughable. And people have said they want to enjoy it or they do enjoy it. But every time it gets to the actual part of the dancing, the whole reason for this story, they can't take it. They almost can't look at the screen.
And that is one of the huge problems with this anime. Another problem is the fashion or lack of it. They are telling you that what they're wearing is cool. And they say it themselves and what everyone's wearing. And you can see that the writer possibly was around in the late 90s, mid to late 90s, and was influenced by that music scene.
Yeah.
Because the clothes they have on remind you of the 90s. And the ways they're dancing remind you of the 90s, including the jerky movements. And that might be just because of the bad animation. And there's nothing wrong with it because, again, in the manga, it works.
Yeah.
It absolutely works. It's a great read. We recommend you get it from the library or buy it and read it. It's fantastic. The 4 volumes we read.
Yes.
But the anime, somebody went cheap on this.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, if they had decided to put their all into it, and at least done the type of animation quality of Chainsaw Man or Demon Slayer, and we don't mean with the fight scenes, but just in the movement of the characters when they're dancing, this would have been a hit.
It would.
There's no doubt it would have been a hit, and then people would have been kissing Disney's butt to watch it. But at the how it is now, no. I went online on X and saw lots of people who love the manga like we did, and the same complaint over and over is, if it just weren't for this dancing, oh, what were they thinking? Why did they do this? The only thing they found wrong was, again, the dancing and the fashion. So if they could have just done that right, WanDance would have been a global hit.
Yeah. But as it goes for Disney. And you know what's so bad? That the opening to the anime, if you watch it and don't skip it, they don't dance.
No.
They stare
Not at all.
at the camera for probably the first 30 seconds, certain characters, and then you get the title, then you get them on the bus or they're running or something, and then you think they're dancing, but it's just a still shot.
Yeah.
They don't dance. In the dancing anime intro, they're silent or they're standing still like, did Disney not want to pay a penny for this?
Disney, we have seen them do this with other anime, where the intro is just cheap, as you said, still pictures, or they're moving it like in Home Alone where he puts the stuff on the train. And it's like, why do they always cop out and become cheap when it comes time to make an intro? It's the dumbest thing. But here again, that has happened as well. So there are actually 3 problems with this. And if they could have just done those 3 things right, this could have been a hit.
Yeah.
So it was directed by Michiya Kato and written by Michiya Kato as well. Music by Naoki Natoya Chiba. And the music's not bad.
Yeah.
The studio is Madhouse and Cyclone Graphics. And maybe Cyclone Graphics is the problem. We don't know much about them, and we couldn't find much information on them. If you know whom they are, let us know in the comments if they've done any other works.
And Madhouse, I might be incorrect on this information. You're free to correct me in the comments. Madhouse has also done the Avengers, Future Avengers anime, and a lot of the Marvel anime. So I will believe it because that suffered the same problem of it being a superhero action show, and they show very little action. For whatever reason, these 2 anime companies specialize in these high definition, high quality character designs and animation. But when the time comes from the move, they can't move. They have to cheap out and do something else or do it off screen. They can only do still shots very well, and then after that they can't do anything else.
We tried watching Future Avengers.
Mom couldn't take it anymore.
We sat through almost half the series or half the series.
Half a season.
Watch half a season, true, because there were 2. Watch our podcast. If you want laughter and fun and joy, hysterics, that's the podcast to watch, because Future Avengers was abysmal and terrible, and just like another indication Disney needs to stay away from anime.
Yeah.
So let's get to the voice cast for this. As Koboku in English, voiced by Kieran Reagan. Hickory or Wanda, and that's WanDance, voiced by Merritt Layton. Meow is voiced by Abby Espiritu. Irusukishima is voiced by Mark Whitten. Yes, Rengoku.
Yay!
Kabeya is voiced by Jonathan Leone. Takumi, Josh Keaton.
Yay! He's in a Disney anime.
Yes. Ase, voiced by Andrew Kishino. Hoto, Brandon McInnes. Seiya, Jonathan Ha. Kano, Courtney Lynn. She also voices Naito. And Tokiwa, Madeline Dora. There's a lot of other people in here, too many to go through, but there aren't any really bigger ones that you would be familiar with. So we'll just go ahead and say you can check it out online if you want to. So again, the manga is excellent. The story is a romance. And it's got comedy in it, even though they don't say it's a rom-com. It is a wonderful read. The anime itself, if you can get past the dancing and you just look at their interactions, great. Another thing is they do a lot of detailed discussions of what epitomizes a good dancer and what the trends are. It talks a lot in detail about dance. So if you want a lot of background information on dance as it is now, not a history because they don't give you that, then this is an anime to watch and a manga to read as well, because it does go into great detail like Blue Period did for art. It's really good at that.
Right.
If you just can ignore, get past the dancing or skip it, you probably will enjoy the anime and not be laughing every time dancing comes on screen.
You can look at the manga for better dancing if you want.
The funniest part, the last thing I'm going to add is the funniest part is when they enter the dance competition.
Oh my gosh.
And you think they're going to do something exceptional. And all the moves, nothing is exceptional. Everything is plain. And we kept quoting Mr. Incredible.
They keep finding new ways to celebrate mediocrity.
And that's because the animation was cheaply done. So next time Mickey gets his paws on something, don't screw up the intro. Don't screw up the animation and go cheap. And get somebody who can do dance animation. Whoever did this should never be doing motion capture and animation ever again, because
3D,
the dancing is just horrid. So if you've seen WanDance, let us know your comments. Do you agree with our take, or do you like it? And if so, please tell us why, because we can't fathom why you would like the dancing. But let us know. If you've read the manga and you love it like we do, tell us as well. If you haven't seen WanDance, it's available exclusively on Disney to stream. The manga's available in the libraries and on Amazon to purchase. Give it a read or give it a watch. Come back and tell us what you think.
And if you haven't already, subscribe for updates and movies for your anime series, anime shows, and all things animation, real animation.
Absolutely, and thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you so much. As always, you are special.
Thanks so much for watching Mask Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a fantastic day.
Peace.
Going crazy.